I was thinking about it. I'm an introvert. Like I'm a painfully and always have been a painfully sort of interior person.
You can change that as much as you want. If you packed everything up, like cut the internet off and moved to a new town, like who would you be there? If you wake up every day, you have a capacity to be great.
Ask you something. Is the next 30 seconds guaranteed?
Yeah, never.
Never.
You have to answer every day when you go to bed. Were you a good person? Were you kind? Did you care about others? Or were you selfish and only thought about what you wanted?
Continuing to ask questions in like a kind or positive way.
If I can create a spot where people can come together.
Stay off the internet, stop researching, because all you're going to do is get in your head.
I did what everybody does when they're about to die. I started praying.
This might be my last fork in the road.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Exactly. Welcome to our journey,
Where open dialogue and curiosity are the only requirements.
whether it be serious or lighthearted,
Music, heroing stories,
aliens.
or politics or comedic debauchery.
We attempt to peel the layers back and connect together in a way that's genuine and honest.
Without any script or idea what the hell is going to happen.
This is organic, curious, human interaction.
We thank you for joining us and ask if you enjoy the show, please do all the things that social media requires for its more ridiculous algorithms.
The like button, follow, subscribe, comment, and review.
And although we may have a disdain for algorithms, it's how the internets work.
But if you have as much disdain for them as we do, you can visit the website, chroniccuriosity.com. The link is in the description. You can find all of our stuff there.
And the store, Tony, which you can pick yourself up some fantastically curious merchandise.
Welcome to Chronic Curiosity.
And here we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, you say it? Charcuterie?
It'd be sweet for like a kids party if they did like a baby shark cooterie board.
Oh, jeez. Babe. Did you did you see Elon Musk tweet about baby Doge? There's the Dogecoin, obviously, cryptocurrency.
I don't think I can, bro. I can't do it.
Can't
Even have this conversation.
No.
I'm joking.
Yeah, he tweeted the baby Doge dude. And I'm like, no, don't. Just stop it. Stop it.
Those dudes had to make just an like obscene amount of money on that whole baby shark thing. Like,
Probably.
every kid knows it. It's like the modern day nursery rhyme.
Yeah, like the Macarena for even smaller kids.
Man, I haven't heard that brought up in a long time.
We used to do it. I remember it was like, I think it was like elementary school. They used to like, I thought it was the most lamest thing ever.
I think it still is.
No, I know. I don't know. I just remember like thinking it was like in elementary school. It was the first time maybe I thought like, these people are absolutely fucking ridiculous. They used to like play it the last like 10 minutes of lunch so people could get up in the cafeteria and do the dance.
Interesting. Well, what school you went to, Fred?
A boring one, obviously.
That's Ohio or San Francisco? Just kidding.
Just kidding. Speaking of
Lakewood.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead, please.
Speaking of San Francisco, I saw that all of their Targets are closing early.
Is that because they were being targeted?
Yeah.
Like people were robbing them,
Yeah.
looting them?
Yeah. Even like their head press guy basically said like this is an unsafe condition for our employees and our customers. So like I think they're closing all the Targets in San. There's like 6 or 7 of them in San Francisco. They're closing them early because of all of the looting.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
That's going on. Yeah, and all of the theft and aggressiveness.
They should just
happening.
Adopt a new slogan. Stay strapped or get clapped. and instead of the vest, they just issue the flak jackets.
But that's a really bad insignia to have on a flak jacket. Yeah, a bullseye. that's
It'll be all right.
Yeah, I guess if at least you're gonna hit something. If you're gonna, hit something, you might as well hit a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
It just kind of surprised me that like, oh, like this is. We've talked about California before being ridiculous, but yeah, it's really coming full circle now that even the stores are like, we can't handle the amount of theft and destruction that's going on. I've seen a bunch of videos where like there would be like security guards just like videotaping people and like the employees with their phones as they're just like taking trash bags and just like filling stuff off the shelf. Like, and he kind of like I saw the one where like he kind of like, it was a guy on a bicycle. He rode a bicycle into a store. It was like filling a trash bag and like threw it over his handlebars, and like the security guard like kind of like as he rode past him like kind of pushed him, and that was it. But like, he couldn't do anything.
Did you have that Queen song, Fat Bottom Girls Make It Rock and Roll Around?
Yeah.
He said, get on your bikes and ride.
Yeah, it just blows my mind though. That's what's happening. Even police officers can't.
Does it really
stop.
blow your mind though at this point in the game?
I want it to.
I mean, look at the whole with the rioters and the looters before. They were like, "Oh, just don't stop them. Like, just let them do what they're going to do. Don't arrest any of them." Or, hey, certain people are just going to go ahead and bail them out of jail.
Yeah.
So, is it really that surprising?
I want it to be.
I feel like it's not. Though.
I guess, like I've said before, wish in one hand, shit in the other. Right?
Man, my dad always told me that as a kid.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Son, you better wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up first. No one's giving you anything.
Kind of sounded like Ricky Bobby there.
Did you like that?
Mm-hmm.
He did tell me if I wasn't first, I was last.
Yeah, it's really.
Really stuck with me.
Yeah.
He did not put a cougar in my Dodge Colt, though.
Damn it.
Oh my God, it's a real live cougar.
It was fantastic.
Coming in hot, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. I don't know. Kid running around. Anarchy. I don't know what it means, but I like it.
Come at you like a spider monkey chip.
I'm still wearing my pee pants.
Come on, Cass. I know you want to get in on this.
Fred took it right out of my mouth.
And I said, you got a lumpy butt. And then I peed my pants.
Oh, shoot.
Yes.
Yeah, not that surprising, though.
No, I guess
Unfortunately.
not. Unfortunately.
Sad,
Sad.
but not surprising.
But I guess maybe why I'd want to be surprised by it is like I can't help but think like where does it lead? Where does it go from?
So they're closing the stores early, like shutting them down, or we're only going to be open until a certain.
They're only going to be open until a certain time.
So like, do people only loot?
It's like
after
the
a certain
coronavirus.
time?
Why do you think they shut the bars down? At
Yeah,
10?
like
Well,
you
no,
can only
so-
get COVID after 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Got it.
Here we go.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the
No.
clarification.
No, what
No
it
problem.
is it's I think it's more of a I don't know the right words to use to say it, but it's you think about all right, what somebody is going to do when they Okay, here we go. How about this? I'll even equate it to a controversial thing that Tony already brought up. The summer, last year's riots, where you had typically during the day, it was, peaceful protesting for the most part. And I think the majority of that I think that's a true statement. A lot of, the protests and everything were mostly peaceful. I agree with that statement. But we all have to remember that the word mostly does not mean all. So let's knock it off. But so mostly peaceful protesting, what does it turn into as the day gets later and the sun goes down and the people that are out there, and they said, Mom always told me nothing good happens after dark, right? That's why we always had to be home when the sun was coming down.
The nighttime was the right time.
Yeah.
What happens after dark? Kyle Rittenhouse, a bang bang. Welcome to Chinatown.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. So we're going to avoid that one. Like the Great Awakening map.
Did it happen though?
Yeah,
it did happen.
We're going to avoid that one. But I think it's just human nature as the day goes on, the night comes, you feel more secure in doing ridiculous shit. You've probably been doing drugs or drinking all day long, and then night comes and people get encouraged to do dumb things. And I think it's just more of the looting, or not even looting, just straight theft. Like I said, while people are watching them, they can't do anything. what was it? Is it like $900 or something like that? I know we've mentioned it before.
Oh, the dollar amount.
Yeah, it was something as
I
if
don't know
if they
what it
don't
was.
steal more than like $600 or $900, then they're not prosecuting them. Well, that's a thing. Yeah, no, that's a legit thing.
What?
Yeah, so like,
Oh no! Put that 70-inch back. 65. Okay.
yeah,
What?
yeah. So if somebody steals, remember,
How many times can you do that in a day? Is there like a
I have
a
no
period
idea.
where
Yeah, I don't
you got to
know.
come back an hour later and you can hammer on with $900 more?
Yeah, I
Or is
honestly,
it in a day? It's a cumulative thing. Like
I
you
don't
hit
know.
855.
I don't. I'm confused.
yeah, it was a legit thing. I saw that like they weren't prosecuting or they weren't like pressing charges on people if it was like a dollar amount they didn't steal.
But they're just like letting them walk in and.
Probably because it has
You
something to
do
do
it?
with their what do they call that? With the shrinkage or whatever, or it's like people steal things, and I've heard that before with Walmart. Like that, they really don't lose that much money. They like account for it, and there's some process when they return it where they might actually even make money. You catch someone stealing it because they can't sell it again. It was something I read on Reddit, I think, from someone that worked at Walmart.
That's
I
insane.
don't know how credible that was though.
Yeah, there's something that, but like it's been a recent thing where like they said we're not gonna go after people.
Are they doing that around here yet? Like for school shopping, can we do that
Can we do that, right?
Yeah.
for the kids? Hey, $900 worth of shit. Stop
Yeah.
there though.
Yeah, but yeah, so
doesn't make sense.
that's one of the
Put
factors
it in the
that
bag.
they haven't stopped. They haven't like arrested people, and they can't because if they call the cops are like, well, we can't do anything. Like we legally, because they whatever it is. I don't know all the details, but I know there was something that like went into effect. And I know it was California and a couple other places where it was just like they're just not they're not arresting people for stealing stuff, depending on how like.
I don't understand why the police can't do something about that.
Well, one probably because there's not enough of them because a lot of them have quit. I don't know. I saw a couple weeks ago where it was maybe it wasn't that long ago. The entire I think it was Portland. Their entire like fast act response, like kind of like a SWAT type team, they all just quit.
Yeah, but that
This
was
is-
from that position alone. They didn't quit the police force.
Right, but there's like, yeah, we're not
Yeah,
doing this anymore.
it. Was it
Like,
the special response team? Or
Yeah, I think it
SRT
was
team
something.
or something?
Yeah. So like, there's just so many different things going on.
I mean,
like,
why would you stay though? Like, if you're not going to get support and like everything that you do is going to be scrutinized and no one's going to back you up, like,
What's the point?
I'm not going to do that.
Mhm.
Right, and you're getting bricks and stuff chucked at your face all the time. Like, no thanks. But so yeah, so there's a bunch of, if you go online, the one video I saw, it was one of the better ones where like a dude was on a bicycle with a trash bag, just like raking stuff into this trash bag, and there's multiple people standing around just videotaping him, and one of them is the security guard. It's going like, well, I can't do anything because he'll get in trouble.
I don't.
Yeah,
My brain. I'm not processing
Yeah.
this.
yeah. Yeah, I
Like
don't
what?
know. Yeah,
Once again, back to what Fred said: anarchy.
yeah. Well, that's wow, yeah. It is kind of anarchy in a sense. Well, that's more like
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been speaking of anarchy. I started trying to read Michael Malice's book,
Yeah,
The Anarchist Handbook or whatever it is.
not cookbook.
Not
handbook.
cookbook. Yeah, not cookbook.
No bombs
handbook.
are being
No
made here.
bombs.
Allegedly.
But he has a really interesting point of view. But it's hard. Like him and there's another guy too, Dave. His name's Dave Smith. They're both like anarchists. Like that's what like their beliefs are. Like they're like I don't know if it's like a political thing. I don't know exactly like their
Maybe
societal structure,
ideological.
Yeah, probably that's probably a better word for it. Thanks, Tony.
Or ideology. I don't know.
Ideology,
What
yeah,
that is looking for.
whatever. Yeah, but they believe that like anarchy is how we're supposed to live, and it's a lot of people think anarchy, they think chaos.
Mhm.
It's called anarchy, not chaos, for a reason. But like it's basically like without government, and we all kind of are supposed to like it keeps everything in check as we live peaceably together. It's hard because it's completely foreign to what we think about like government and ideologies around here, but it's interesting to listen to them talk about it and go, oh, I never really thought about these things before. Like when you, particularly recently, you think about most of the quote unquote problems that people are having and bitching about, a lot of them surround the vast majority either surround the government or like corporations. And so like the idea that in the fact that they're obviously work very hand in hand. So like what's the difference? Are we really all that different than China? Where the government controls all of the big businesses? Like, I don't know. It's almost,
and they're overt.
Yeah, well, ours is almost like 180. All the big businesses control the government in a sense, but like, so that's kind of like, it's interesting to actually read about anarchy and
what was that big antitrust thing got shut down?
Yeah.
Against.
I saw that, like, I remember the morning I woke up and I saw that the Facebook antitrust thing was cast out by one of the judges or something. I was like,
yeah, you're like, I wonder what that offshore account looks like at this point.
Surprise, surprise. Another corporation gets away with fucking everybody. Like, and it's just the government.
And then what happened to their stock price?
Yeah, they hit $1 trillion market cap the same week.
Imagine that. Coincidence?
Surprise,
I think not.
Surprise. Yeah, it's weird because now, like, maybe that's why I'm like venturing out to different things, because like I don't find myself to be like a libertarian, but I'm really like,
I always say
things.
I'm a centralist and libertarian light.
Libertarian light. But I'm like, I've found like the more and more I just find myself like disagreeing with all Republicans and Democrats and libertarians, and then like, well, all right, this whole anarchist thing, I don't know what this means, so I guess I'll give them a listen to. But then I listen to some of the shit they're saying, I'm like,
oh no,
I can't get behind that either.
Tone's a medium plus.
Medium plus, yeah.
Libertarian?
Yeah. Light. Libertarian light. It's equivalent to medium plus.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Let's say your mom, she was like, I like my steaks medium plus. I'm like, you mean
that?
Like,
you mean medium well?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like
no, medium plus. It's like in between.
Like, no, that's not a thing.
People don't do that.
No.
And same day, we were on vacation, turn on a TV. On the show, somebody ordered medium plus. And she was like, fucking mic drop. And we were like, this is not a thing ever. Haven't heard it since. But
yeah,
she's a medium plus kind of gal.
Oh. Stroke it at a medium pace.
Damn it. Oh, this is it. This is the guy.
So is it only Target or is this different?
Can't ride a bike through a store, bro.
No. Yeah, so this is the I want to find out where's the video. Of course it's a Fox video. Yeah, look at this dude. So he's got a bicycle and he throws his trash bag full of stuff. Look at the security guard. The security guard's right there. He tries to stop him. He grabs the bag but he can't actually stop him. So this is broad daylight.
Just put a
broad daylight
stick between his spokes.
Look at he just like cruises off. See you later. Like he's just throwing stuff. And
is that Tyrone Biggums?
They're just recording.
Is that Tyrone Biggums?
I still don't understand.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you something, Fred. I only stole $900 worth.
Yeah. But I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. That's what's going on now. Like this is where we're at.
Huh.
I don't know. I can't call it. It's yeah. Yeah.
I'm just extremely confused.
Hey, welcome to America.
So does that like count if someone decides to, break into your house? You live in San Fran?
I don't know.
Well, you need to stop at $900 stealing shit in my house.
Mm-hmm. No. You know what? I'll put it all in this room so you don't fuck up my other shit. This is all this stuff right here.
No, I'll tell you what I do. I'll put a fucking bullet in you.
No, that's
what's gonna. I'm sure in California though, you would confused. For sure go to prison for shooting somebody that broke into your house.
Dude, you'd probably get arrested for hitting him with a squirt gun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, were you trying to waterboard him?
Yep. Trying to torture him. They would follow that logic. I don't know. Newsom, I guess that thing passed where they're looking for a recall. I don't know. I haven't heard anything recently, but they got enough
for him to get him out of there.
Yeah.
Bro, why would you want to get such a luxuriously handsome man posing on rugs? out of office. He's so qualified.
His hair is qualified. That's about it.
Qualified douche.
Yeah.
Picture was not fantastic.
No, it wasn't.
Was not.
No.
I liked it. I made a few copies and hung them on my walls.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Frame one.
Yeah, come on.
Nightstand.
Hand framed it. Rich mahogany. I put it in my office.
Yes.
Oh, it's a wild world out there. I don't know. Can't call it. It's going to be interesting. I don't know.
I feel like we should just jump right into it because I know Cass has some opinions on the whole Olympic thing with the transgender / weed / all that good stuff.
There's so the world's lost
/ not paying.
I just think it's time that we look at. I get that there's rules, and you have to follow rules. Understand.
Not for anarchists.
But at some point, you have to look at the rules and decide. You know what? This is outdated. This doesn't really make sense.
Ooh, and slippery slope. I feel like some people are trying to do that with the Constitution.
That's true. But I mean, it might be necessary. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a sad thing that you have someone in New Zealand who has done Olympic lifting as a male, is now a trans female, allowed to lift against biological females against the country.
Ooh, she said biological, Tony. That's not a word anymore.
But Sha'Carri, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Sha'Carri test positive for pot and is disqualified.
Right, because
Can't remember.
everybody knows that has been high. That pot makes you a super fast runner.
Yeah, right.
Just
Exactly.
on the basis alone.
I mean, gummies do in your mind, but you're not going anywhere.
Like, it's more impressive if she would have been high and still got that number.
Yeah,
Right?
just to be able to get up off of the chair and be able to go out on that track. Like, I'm impressed.
And I get it. Like, I do understand that you put rules in place because
Right.
it's not just the United States, it's the entire world. And she's an Olympic athlete. She needs to be held to a higher standard. I get that. But we might need to look at the rules.
Yeah.
Like, or why can't they come up with it is fucking 2021. Why can't they come up with a test to see if you're high on the spot, like a breathalyzer, to see if you're under the influence of alcohol? She wasn't high while she was running, right? Like, do that kind of test.
They probably could, but then why would they do that if it's so bad and it's supposed to be illegal? That it would give legitimacy to it.
Well, it's not illegal in half the country.
Well, our country, yeah.
That's true.
Well, I think
But so I look to see, like,
federally it's still illegal.
why is
right?
it considered, banned? And you could have an advantage because it can lessen, like, performance anxiety, which could
Right.
give you an edge against somebody else. Understood.
Yeah, maybe when you're curling, not sprinting.
Yeah, but see, if she's not
Just
under
run.
the influence, like, she could have done it, what, 5 days before?
Yeah.
Still in her system. I don't know. I just think it's bullshit.
Well, I think
It's sad.
it's incredibly sad and it's incredibly stupid. But I think that's part of the reason why there hasn't been any type of research into doing like a quick, a rapid test to see how high you are. We have with alcohol because it's not legal. So it's, there's a weird, realm you get into there when it's.
Bro, there's a super easy way to tell how high someone is. If you say Colt 45 and they can, boom, that's how high you are. 2 zigzags, that motherfucker's high.
No, I could have done that, and I have only been high like 3 times in my life.
Yeah. But so that's the point is I think it's just like I've always made, and I'll even say I've made the argument way before you kind of changed your mind on weed. And this has been years now, but there's a lot of differences, but like the safety factor and the health factor and other things like it's not that much different than alcohol. The biggest difference between weed and alcohol is we can't immediately tell how drunk you are with weed. That's what I'm saying. How high you are.
Hold on.
So
Did you say there's not that much of a difference between weed and alcohol?
There are a lot of differences, but the biggest difference why it's still like all these laws and everything in my mind is the biggest difference is, as far as being impaired. If you're super high driving,
okay.
like just driving, or like affecting somebody like driving while high, driving while drunk, like
yeah, but people that are high go slow, and people that are drunk
not
go
always,
fast.
not always. But I'm saying
Bro,
the
maybe you're not getting high enough.
I'm saying cognitive and
I don't know what strain you're smoking.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is cognitive impairment. There's obviously a big difference there, but as far as being like being impaired and saying, driving a vehicle, it's an easy example.
Bro, the only reason someone high would drive fast is to get to the store for some Doritos.
But like for an employer,
right.
You do a random drug test and they check to see if you're drunk, but they also check to see, if you have alcohol in your system, but they also like, if I wanted to smoke weed on the weekend and it is now a Tuesday,
you're no longer
it's
high.
going to be in my system,
sure.
But it's,
or if you're in Michigan or you're in Colorado and then you came back and you're like, well, it's legal there, but not legal here.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So your argument was always if they could test you
a rapid test.
right then, just like you can for alcohol, it'd be a lot easier.
Right.
Right. Because what I do on my weekends shouldn't determine how good of an employee I am on a Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's my
on a
Tuesday. I was thinking that same thing.
That's always been my biggest argument. And I have yet to find somebody that is like, well, that's wrong. Or you know what I mean? Be able to present another argument that really proves that point that I'm like way off base there.
But then the other side of it is the whole transgender,
yes, the Olympic
powerlifting, anything like. Do you? That's fine. Do whatever you.
Yeah, no, I
support it. Yeah, I encourage
absolutely.
it. Like absolutely.
Not encourage, but support. Like
no, I encourage if that's what you want to do. Like,
well, yeah, but I mean, I'm not like out here trying to like turn 5-year-olds into.
Okay, so
you're
obviously very educated hormone wise, Aunt. So the article that I read for this trans woman was that all of her labs, tests. There was a couple things that they checked for. Are below a certain number,
True.
Which allows her to now compete against females. And that these rules aren't new. They said these rules have been in place for years, right? How can they just not pay attention to the fact that the test level was so much higher for so many years, which allowed muscle to be built? Like it's not just going to leave.
Or the fact
right?
that she went through puberty as a boy.
Yeah,
it's not
just
even the
because...
muscle either. It's like the changes in the brain. It's like a level of, I don't want to say aggression, but like, I mean, we listened to that one Rogan with that lady from Harvard on testosterone. And I mean, there's all kinds of different changes that happen because of testosterone. Like you said, when you're born, through puberty, and then all of a sudden, magically, because you're under 250 nanograms per deciliter or whatever it is, cool, you can compete with women. Level playing field.
Right. So
I think
I don't
the fuck not.
I agree. I don't understand how.
So
that's like a.
Yeah. So to your point, so to clarify that, because I don't know how to clarify that properly. I've listened to people that talk about it. But so just as a little thought experiment, say a person like me I'm right now sitting at 230. And if you're watching the show, I'm not, I'm only like 5'11". So 230, 5'11". I'm not overweight unless you ask, a scale.
The BMI.
Yeah. The BMI for whatever. Point aside, and I am a fairly strong person because I lift weights and I do those things. So, but someone, I guess this is the question for you, Tony, to talk to this a little bit, is someone like me that say I were to stop, maybe not even stop lifting, but the testosterone levels in somebody, because that's the quantifier of the Olympic thing, is what it's like. They have to be under a certain threshold for a year and a half.
I don't remember how long.
It's not that. It's. I think it's over a year, but it's not that long. So like even someone like me, something were to happen that my test levels naturally were able to drop. lost a testicle, or I guess I don't know how all that works, but like
You'll drop
dropping,
some if you lose a
dropping
testing.
below that threshold, or people that are seemingly normal males, men, I don't know, in below a certain threshold, like I'm not just gonna lose all my muscle mass.
I mean, dude, I see males that they have energy issues, libido issues, but they still have considerably more muscle mass than females, and they're 200, 300 total serum testosterone nanograms per deciliter. That's where they're at. No, like you're not.
Where would someone completely?
Yeah, what's an
normal
average?
be?
Like,
So it's kind of a wide range. The scale we use is 280 to 1100 nanograms per deciliter. As you age, that number goes down some, but generally 280 to 1100. Some other scales are about 250 to 950 ish, and that's total. Free is about 4 to 24. So total test is kind of that total amount of testosterone floating around the body. You've got other proteins like sex hormone bound globulin that want to bind to that testosterone. If they're bound to it, then that means it's not available or free. If it's unbound, that means it's free, and that means you can use it. So you can have a lot of total test, but if you actually don't have a decent amount of free test, you're not going to feel the effects of it. So testosterone and albumin, you get tests from actual testosterone from that. The sex hormone bound globulin doesn't release it, so you wouldn't get the test from that.
Why? Okay, so I do insurance prior authorizations, and they always want 2 labs. I think it's like below 200,
which is so freaking low.
It's pretty low, right?
Super low, yeah, very low.
But I think it's first thing in the morning.
So, and first thing, the reason they do that is because that's when your test levels are the lowest. So it's the best accurate representation of where your test levels are truly going to be.
It might be it might be 250. I'm not sure, but it still seems pretty low.
Yeah, and I mean 200 or 250 sounds about right. So
yeah, but so they have to have 2 of those, and their tests have to be first thing in the morning.
Yeah, but the way they prescribe is just, it's not good. So if you go to primary care urology, they'll give you some testosterone, typically testosterone cypionate, 200 milligrams of that substance in 1 milliliter or cc of that fluid, but they'll do it like once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks.
We do once every 2 weeks. It's pretty
so
standard.
You just get this nice roller coaster of fluctuation where you've got this high peak your first day. For 3 or 4 days, you feel maybe decent, and then you get this trough, this just low point for the rest of the time.
Is that just to help the patient not have to come in once a week for an injection?
Probably. I guess. I mean, at a minimum, it should be weekly.
Or is it just the physicians at family care center don't understand how to do that properly?
I mean, I don't think that's really something that they go over in great depth in med school. Maybe, I mean, I can't even say for endocrinology either, because they do the same thing. They don't do like weekly injections, and then they never really address, the fact that estrogen is going to rise when you introduce testosterone, as well as possibly DHT, and the fact that it's going to shut down that HPT axis, or that feedback system where your brain basically tells your testicles, hey, we don't have enough testosterone, we need to make some more. If you're supplementing exogenously or from the outside giving yourself injections, at some point your system starts to shut down because it says, we don't need to produce anymore.
We don't need you anymore.
So you need to address that as well. You
need,
to be able to stimulate the hormones that release or that make testosterone and sperm, so FSH and LH. And you can do that through some various methods, but none of that really gets addressed. So that's why if you're going to do it, you probably want to go to a specialty clinic that's a little bit more familiar, and I'm not saying they're not out there, because there's probably some cool endocrinologists or primary care that actually pays attention to that stuff and wants to do things correctly. But
well, I think that's an important point too, because you realize, just recently I had my shoulder was all messed up, got an MRI and talked, and I finally found someone that was like, I feel like, that listened to me.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, well, I know a lot about this. This is kind of what I'm guessing, but I have 2 people that you should go see that, these 2 people are the people to go to. And it was, you realize that like I had to go to a specific one of these 2 places to get an MRI done because of the muscle mass I have. Like she said, a normal MRI machine's, it's not going to give you good pictures.
True.
So you have to go to one of these places. So she sent me there, and she said, and after that it was, okay, now you need to go see one of these people because they're, an orthopedic specialist in this area, you realize how intricate the human body is. Like, people will go, well, my doctor told me, like, okay, well, that's just the same doctor you've been going to for 35 years for when when your throat hurts. Or, okay, well, I think it's a cold, or I maybe got the flu or whatever. It's like, you realize that if there's an ear, nose, and throat doctor, and there's a foot doctor, and then there's, orthopedics, but then there's also like, shoulder specialist orthopedics, or like,
orthopedics that only do surgery on a left hand or a right hand.
Right. So then, like, and people go to the doctors expecting a beautiful answer, like, even, bringing like the whole COVID thing. Well, my doctor told me this. Well, is your doctor a virologist and that specializes in these type of things, or some kind of like, there's so many layers to all these things that people think, trust the specialist, trust the doctors, trust the scientists. Well, guess what? All these people disagree, and some people just don't know.
Yeah.
So like, with the hormone stuff, like, it just makes sense, like, because hormones are tricky. Like, it's something completely different with your body.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah. So like, what's the average? So I don't know if this is right, but this is the first thing I just found. And it was at least for this thing, an athlete has to stay below 5, was it nanomoles per liter?
Okay.
For 6 months.
I mean, when we pull it, I guess I don't know how that would convert the nanomoles, because we typically use nanograms per deciliter.
Okay. So I wonder what that, like, nanomoles to nanograms. So what's like a normal, do you know what a normal, like, female is typically at? Like,
so total test for a female, I think is like in that 12 to 15 to 85 range. And I've seen some lower, as far as that's the total. For the free, it's like 0.2 to like 2.1. Whereas, like I said, so think about that for a second. You've got like 15 to 85, let's just say, for the total, and males are 280 to 1100. And then you've got 0.2 to 2.1, and then you've got 4 to 24 for the males. So
me at my max would make your guys' testosterone extremely low.
Yeah.
Like, if I was at 85 and you guys are at 85.
We would be 3 times under the normal threshold, basically.
Insane. And for years.
Oh, so you said what? Nanograms 85 is a high range for a female?
Yeah.
So just a quick calculator. So 85 nanograms per milliliter.
Oh, it's per deciliter.
Oh, deciliter.
Yeah.
So that would be what? 8.5?
Yeah.
Right? It would be 10?
Yep. I think so.
Is that right? I don't know.
That sounds yeah, that's a little bit more accurate. So 50 basically.
So a super high end, so if the math is right, a super high end range, or a high end range for a female at 8.5 nanograms per milliliter would equal out to be 21.25 nanomoles per liter.
Yeah, so 50 nanograms per deciliter would be about the max then. Is that, or 40? Because you said, what did it have to be under? You said 5.
Yeah, so
50.
it had to be 5. So if it was, it'd be like a quarter of that, right? Yeah, so it'd be 2 nanograms per milliliter.
So 20?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
So basically 20 nanograms per deciliter. So basically a 20 is the max that you could be, which is...
So where does that fall into a typical female for 20?
Like at the very freaking bottom, dude. Like nanograms per deciliter, it's like 15 to 85 is the normal range.
So, and it's obviously a very complex and complicated issue with the numbers and whatnot. So to wrap all that, to kind of encapsulate that, so we're saying, so the number, if I did the math right, that a trans female has to come in under for testosterone levels to compete is at the low end range of a normal female testosterone for 6 months. So that people hear that.
Sounds appropriate.
Sounds appropriate. Okay. But so they're using all types of hormones and drugs to get down there to do that. So I get it. That part, people hear that, makes sense. They have a low end even of testosterone for a female, from what you're saying. So, okay, fair is fair, right? But like we just talked about, like, I could get down there, give me some drugs for 6 months. Am I going to be as strong as I am now? No. But I'm sure as hell of a lot going to be stronger than the normal female.
So what do you,
sitting at 230 pounds?
Yeah, sitting at 200. I might lose some weight because I'm not going to be able to keep all that strength and whatnot.
So how do you think you make it fair? Do you have your own trans class, or for every year that male was a male before he transitioned, the female gets to take a super therapeutic dose of testosterone.
No, you just don't get to compete in the Olympics.
You get to blast testosterone for 17 years and compete.
Like, it's really, it's aggressive, abrasive, not sure. But I don't get to compete in the Olympics, right? I'm not good enough.
Right.
Sorry. Like, I could blame that on genetics. Genetically, I was not blessed to be good enough for literally anything. So, unfortunately, your genetics fucked you because it gave you a penis and you really feel you're a female. We both have been...
a penis, I really want a vagina.
Yeah, like...
Damn it.
Genetically, we are both fucked if our goal is to be Olympic lifters for the female USA team. But... Side note, I'd rather have a trans female lifting for our country if they're going to stand on the podium and
she's doing it.
Be, happy when our anthem plays, right?
Respectful.
Show some respect, show some gratitude, be proud to represent the country that they're going for,
Yeah, so did you see... hear about the hammer thrower that got third in like qualification. It was some kind of meet or qualifications, and she turned away from the flag as the anthem was being played, and she put activist athlete like shirt over her head as the anthem was being played. You heard about? No, you didn't.
No.
Oh, that was a big thing too.
She was like a fucking toddler.
Yeah, she was throwing a hissy fit.
Go throw for somebody else. Why would you want to go to the Olympics to represent your country if that's how you act? She said that the anthem did not resonate to her. It's not what it's about. It's not what the national anthem is about.
Your freedom doesn't resonate with you?
So
the fact that you aren't persecuted and you can compete freely in this country doesn't resonate with you?
Yeah, but so Gwen Berry, this was a big hot topic as well. It was during U.S. Olympic trials. She got third place, and when they all got on the podium and got their medals, they started playing the national anthem, which, from my understanding, that's always what they do during the Olympics. Is when you get your medals, they play the.
It was played at a certain time every day, at like 5:24 or 5:25. It just happened to be when they got their medal. That's what I read last night.
Oh,
which is why she thought it was a setup. But they
so
said
with
all the history leading back, the national anthem is played at a certain time every evening or every time.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. But
I read that.
I heard the fact that she said it was a setup. And it was like, but that I got one fly around here. Gross. So that's a little more news. It makes it a little more understandable, but
why she thought it was a setup.
Why she thought it was a setup. Okay, so I get that.
You mean a setup for what?
But yeah,
hold on, is this chick American?
Yeah, they're all.
Why would you not be excited
that
they should play the national anthem when you are getting your? I don't know if they got medals.
Well, that's what they do at the Olympics. So that's what I thought, because I was like, well, that's what they do at the Olympics. When you obviously this is trials, but I was like, that's what they do at the Olympics is. When they award the medals, they play the national anthem of the winner. That's a thing. So is if she went to the Olympics and won and they played the national anthem, would it be a setup then? Like, you know what I mean? So like, I get some more pieces of the puzzle now. But so the whole thing was like a lot of Republicans were coming out and saying like, oh, she should be removed from
the country,
from like from the Olympic team, because that's what you're there for, is to represent. Like, and then everybody that's more on the activist side and understands what she was supposedly trying to do, like, hey, you have the freedom of speech and the freedom of protest and all these things, which I get to, which I get it, and I'm behind that. But like, how can you be upset at the country you're purporting to represent?
Not to mention, apparently there's consequences for actions when it comes to freedom of speech, as we've seen recently in the last year. So it would be they could just remove her ass from there, because they could. There's consequences.
Yeah, I don't know what the stipulations and everything are on the side of that, but it was like one of those things where it was like, look, like her biggest thing, what I saw was she was discussing her biggest problem is with some lyrics in the third verse, I believe, where it mentions slave. So she takes the stand that line essentially is
you pull the line up so we can see it.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. But she takes the stand that that the lyrics are talking about slaves and how they basically what's the word I'm looking for, disenfranchise black people in America.
Not reaching that page.
Of course it's no, it's thinking about it. Oh, that's weird. It's really weird. They don't want me to see the lyrics.
I'd like to see your Pandora playlist and see if there's any Nicki Minaj WAP on there.
It's a good tune.
So where's that here?
Third verse.
So third verse. So okay, yeah. So it says, "And where is that band who so vauntingly swore that the havoc of war and battle's confusion, a home and country should leave us no more? Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps' pollution. No refuge can save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of grave. And the star-spangled banner in triumph doth wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave." So I can understand how people could read that and think they were talking about the slaves brought over,
not like us as a nation being a slave
to Britain. And like that's
from
the author of the song. That's what the intentional
problem.
There's an intentional contextual problem that we and
someone's just taking words and making them mean what they want them to mean.
So that's I've read different things, but from my understanding and from it was that line was intended to discuss how Britain would, in a sense, enslave the American people to serve for their military, even if they didn't want to, and did different things. So like, which I get, like that doesn't, as always, that doesn't cover up the bad that the American slavery history has in the past. Like that doesn't cover like these. We have to be able to start separating these conversations and be able to have conversations on the topic that we're actually discussing, not let all this other bullshit filter in. Because we can have the discussion of the slavery of African people in America. Here it is. Guess what? It was fucking horseshit. It was bad. It's terrible. That's an evil thing to do. Enslave another people. Simple as that. But
Dan Crenshaw is not happy with her.
No, Dan Crenshaw is not happy with her, but he's really on that Republican line. But that's the idea of trying to pull these different things in different contexts of different stuff and trying to make it fit your narrative. Gets us in a really sticky situation. So I don't know. I'm not an expert on.
She tweeted the R word in 2012. She said that white people are, when drunk.
The R word?
So he's like, you're not going to say it?
She said white people are retarded when drunk.
Oh, I was like, which R word are we speaking of?
People are not happy. They're pulling out the tweets.
So black people aren't retarded when they're drunk? I'm going to call Gary right now and be like,
She
Gary, you
said-
ever get retarded when you're drunk?
I'd be like, every time.
He said last weekend, Corey and me.
You know, I'm not a big fan of cancel culture, but I feel like if they could cancel her, I'd be all right.
I don't.
But then again, I also want her and everyone else to be able to take a stand for what they believe in a peaceful way, and that was peaceful. I just think that it was executed poorly, and when you are like, what's it going to be like at the actual Olympics, right?
Yeah. So my
We're
biggest,
already a joke. Now you're representing the country and you're shitting on them at the same time.
If you win and then you're pissed off that you're pissed off that you won for a country that you like, I understand the arguments behind the things and I get it. But my biggest thing is I don't want to cancel. I don't want any of them canceled.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe you should just pick a country whose national anthem you do like.
Yeah, maybe that. Or, you know, if you protest or if you do some X, Y, or Z and do something and I say, that's fucking stupid and here's why, I shouldn't be canceled for that. I shouldn't be called, well, that person just happens to be this, or that person, this person just happened to be Jewish that I disagreed with. Now I'm anti-Semitic. Well, no, like I have no problem with them being Jewish. Like that's not the conversation we're having. Or like, she happens to be black. Oh, now you're racist.
No, you have no
just
problem
because
with her
I'm
being
different.
black.
No, I have
You
no
may
problem
have
with
a
you being
problem
black.
with her actions.
Yeah, I have a problem with you, misinterpreting something that I interpret something differently and doing something that I disagree with. I just disagree with your actions and the way and what you said. I don't disagree with who you physically are. Like that's retarded. like racism is ridiculous. It's stupid. So stop throwing it around like it's just this thing, like the whole like Nazi thing. People threw that around like crazy. Oh, you're a Nazi. Like, do you really understand what you're saying? Because I don't think you do.
Yeah.
It's sad.
You need some bourbon, Cass?
Fred gave me a little too much of that last night. Actually, you want to hand me one of those waters in there, though?
Nope.
The bubblies?
Yeah,
Or
the
water
grapefruit.
water? I think there's one, the top,
be-
yeah. All the one further away from you is probably the cold one. I just put new ones in there. That's my problem. I'm going to multi-layer struggle with it all is as soon as I'm okay with people disagreeing and people protesting and doing whatever. But I should have, if you have the right to protest, I should have the right to say, you're fucking stupid. Like, to me, that's like, and not be labeled as some kind of bigot or racist or, anti-Semitic or whatever it is, whatever label.
Freedom of speech all around.
Right. Yeah. If you get freedom of speech, then I should get freedom of speech. No, maybe
You're
not.
white and you're male, Fred.
Mm.
And you're kind of masculine.
That's not how I identify.
So you would like this.
I'm not touching that.
Kiefer's sister, Kara, had put something on. She shared a meme or something, and it said, men most likely to cheat. And it said, like,
all of them?
I don't know. Well, the first one was...
All the one with testosterone levels above 500?
I can't remember what
200.
the first one was. It was something like, I don't know, a career type. And then the second one basically encapsulated all men. I can't remember how it was. And then when she reshared it, she said, any of them that breathe, right? So she got...
I get the joke.
Yeah. So it was funny, right? She got banned or they took it down from Facebook for hate.
Fucking good for Facebook. It's about goddamn
right?
time.
And I was like,
standing up for the man.
And I was like,
I'm okay with cancellation
so
now.
Surprised by this, right? Like,
yeah.
Huh? Yeah, I thought you would appreciate that.
I don't. I think that's just as ridiculous as canceling anybody else.
Old beta Zuck.
Yeah, fucking Zuckerberg, man.
Old Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Oh, well, like going back to when I saw that. Oh, the case basically just kind of got thrown out. Oh, surprise! Like,
Which case?
The antitrust case against.
Oh, I thought we were
Facebook.
talking about Bill Cosby. Sorry.
Oh, Jesus! Yeah, I did. Oh.
Hashtag free Britney.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, Britney can't even control her own money. Like they won't even let her blow. Like even if she wasted it all, even if she like was super irresponsible with it, she's the one that fucking earned it.
They won't even let her take out an IUD.
Yeah, that's
A
fucking
foreign
wild.
in her body. I don't.
Yeah, so it's hard to be like some of these stances. I think that this is my biggest thing is people that have these staunch, beliefs in certain ideologies. Like if you're Republican, you're this. If you're Democrat, you're this. If you're this, you're that. Whatever. And you can't see the ridiculous hypocrisy from all of the sides. Because like it's times where like the Britney thing, like that, and you look at, she can't even, like you said, she can't even take out a birth control. Like they won't even, like, what the fuck is that about? So then it's like, oh well, now I get the feminist outcries. Like, but that doesn't mean that all white dudes are bad. And then I saw somebody made a joke about the whole Bill Cosby thing. He was a comedian, so it was a joke. But he was like, oh, they finally decided that Bill Cosby was richer than he was black. And it was like, oh, like that's like, because like rich people get,
I saw one that
much
said,
different treatment. I was like, okay.
It said R. Kelly watching Bill Cosby leave jail.
Oh, Jesus.
Hold on, what was that chick's name in the Olympics there?
Which one?
The one that turned her back?
Gwen Berry.
Gwen Berry. So
Yeah.
here's my question. Do you think Gwen Berry listens to Britney Spears? I'm a slave for you. No? Maybe?
I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say she's
pass?
probably not a Britney Spears.
I'm gonna
fan.
say probably not.
Canceled that song?
I'm gonna say she's,
Probably.
yeah. I don't know.
That's sad. Sometimes it's a real good vibe. I'm down for it. Britney song.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to really
I'd be
enjoy
really sad.
Britney Spears on MTV
Hit Me Baby one more
I'm
time.
sure you did.
on mute.
I thought you were a Christina Aguilera.
You're like
I
a
was.
muffle those sounds.
Yeah,
dog.
no, I was. But I actually like Christina Aguilera's music for the most part.
On
Dirty.
silent.
Yeah, I just turned it down quite a bit. I was a Christina. I was in the Christina camp, but I was also.
I know
like,
Britney with that snake. Pretty sexy.
I
I liked it.
don't know.
What about, who else was in that mix? Jessica Simpson?
Yeah, she
Fred
was.
probably thought she was too damn dumb.
She was.
Not gonna lie.
She was.
Yeah, I knew it.
At first, I was like, oh, like that girl's smoking.
Excuse me. If you don't have an IQ of at least 100, I can't masturbate to you.
No, it's not that. You have to have an IQ.
I know. Dukes of Hazzard, though, she was real.
She was smoking.
And that
But
was a
then when
really
she's
good
like,
movie. That
"Is
was
this
funny.
chicken? Is this like chickens in the sea? Actually, like what is this? Like when she did that whole fucking tuna thing. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't stand it. Once she had that show, that reality show, and I was like,
No.
oh no, you are no longer attractive to me at all whatsoever. Because maybe she was faking it. I don't know.
But that's even worse, I think.
I don't know, man.
Excuse me. You just can't talk.
Yeah, you literally have to not talk.
Not a surprise, but Pops watched the music video at the end of Dukes of Hazzard often.
Oh,
We would watch the movie, and then he'd be like, "It's fine. We can just watch the video. It's fine."
yeah. I mean, she did the things. She was just a good-looking lady.
Yeah.
Carpal tunnel induced Dukes of Hazzard.
It was a good flick.
Yeah, it was all right. I don't know if I'd say
Anybody else in that mix? Avril Lavigne?
Yeah, she was for the
Little
gothers.
punkier, yeah.
She was for the gothers. She
You
was
liked
cute.
Ashanti. I feel like you told me that one time.
Ooh.
See?
Yeah.
Did she
Ashanti.
pass away? Or was that someone different?
No,
Or
that
that
was
Alicia?
That was
yes.
Alicia. Yeah.
That was
Ashanti
how-
was real cute.
What else? She had a good one with
She had
Ja
a-
Rule.
Yeah, but the one song I liked. I'm a big fan of Ashanti.
I haven't thought of her in a long time.
Well, she's not a. Yeah, that was all in that time frame.
Who were you gonna say, bro? Even if she wasn't, felt like you had someone else on the tip of your tongue.
Oh well, I know her name. Bad Boys, Martin Lawrence's sister.
Oh, Gabrielle Union.
Gabrielle Union.
Yeah, she's
I
don't know how old she is, but she looks like she's.
now,
I was saying she looks 20.
Still a smoke
yeah,
show.
she's beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's definitely top 5 for beautiful females. For like my top 5,
Yeah,
like who
she's
I think
gorgeous.
is super. Yeah, I think she's gorgeous.
And she wasn't annoying. That was my thing with Jessica Simpson. She's just annoying.
She
I can't listen to you talk. Like,
she
stop.
shared something that was like, weed is great for a lot of things, but it's definitely not going to improve your 100-meter sprint. She said that the other day.
Yeah.
Gabrielle Union did.
And she always, I don't know, I didn't follow her too much, but she always seemed like at least somewhat like level-headed and normal. Kind of what I liked about her.
Yeah, I think so.
That's hard.
What else were we unpacking there, Cass?
Okay, more
Dude,
baggage.
I feel like I feel like I unpacked some stuff.
He
I was a
did.
little
A
frustrated.
little aggressive.
It's just, it's hard. I don't know. It's frustrating. I want everyone to be, like, I want to be extremely inclusive, and I want to be, I feel like the word ally is really important right now. But I also want to be respectful and fair for people who aren't going through crazy life changes, right? Like I know we've talked about that trans woman lifting, but how fair is it to all the other women who have worked years for this also?
Right.
It's just it's sad. It is, but it's just not fair.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest.
I mean, I know life isn't fair, but this is not a time where you can be like, life's not fair. It's fine. Throw it in the bucket. Like, no.
I think that's the biggest key factor is it's difficult because everybody, we want, like you said, to be inclusive. Like I want to be an ally to people, like, and I totally appreciate struggles that people go through and the difficulties in your life, especially if I can't imagine, not feeling at home in the body that I was born into. I can't imagine that struggle. And I'm not denying that that's a real thing at all. So like, I want those people to live how they want to live, and whatever, you're struggling with, like, I want you to be able to live a happy life as whoever you want to be, in a sense. But when you have to be able to split the two conversations and separate them to say, dude, someone that lived their entire life as a male powerlifter who just decides 4 years ago or whatever, I don't know the exact timeline, but it's been a couple years, that, now I'm a female and I'm going to compete with females. Like, no, like you want to talk about science, like scientifically, it does not add up, does not make sense. And fucking stop trying to make it make sense, because it doesn't.
It'd just be really interesting to see how it results. Like,
I know we said the other day, I was like, I hope she fucking wins. I hope she destroys everybody.
And I was the exact opposite. I was like, how incredible will it be someone who has, not had increased testosterone levels for years of their life?
Yeah, but I think if what you're saying happens
it's only going to perpetuate.
It's going to make it. That's
then
true.
Then it'll be like, well, didn't win, so it must be okay. But I mean, I guess if we were going to ask someone that was an expert opinion, someone who would be an expert on these subjects, who would be a former Olympic athlete and a trans?
And she is
and
against it.
what is the opinion?
Yeah.
Right? She is against it. She
Oh
doesn't think
my
that it's
God,
fair,
there you go.
Yeah.
That was the funny, like, did you see when Caitlyn Jenner came out and she said that, and then people were like, oh, Caitlyn Jenner's a fucking transphobe. How fucking ignorant and stupid you can't have any more of a fucking idiot ass like comment than that. Like what? Like that's like, but I don't know. Maybe not. I just thought of that because I've seen a lot of white dudes recently talk about how much they hate white dudes. So
that's
it's the world we live in.
Are they in their transitioning phase or
no?
No,
Yeah,
I know
I don't
a lot
identify
of
as a white
male
guy
who
anymore.
definitely who apologize for the fact that they're white male.
Yeah, like I'm not apologizing for like I can apologize for things that I've done. I am more than willing to do that. Like if I did something wrong, please tell me and I will apologize for what I did wrong. But I'm not fucking apologizing for the skin that I was born into and the genitalia that I had when I came out. And neither should anybody else.
Yeah,
like, simple as that.
Yeah, you didn't choose that. You're not cloning yourself and doing some CRISPR experiments.
That would be cool.
I wish I could clone him.
Hmm?
I'm not going to touch that.
I don't know if you'd want that.
No, that's true. That's true.
I think that's the point is I don't expect anybody else to feel bad for who they are and what they are. Don't expect me to feel bad for that. That's like what? Yeah. I know. But it really killed me when I saw like people were, it all goes back. Maybe it's just people in Saudi Arabia in a room tweeting.
Possibly.
Just propaganda. No, world's getting wild.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can't call it. This how are we still talking? You think it's going to get any better?
I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll answer that when I get back. Good luck.
I gotta think about this one. All right. Back from the potty break. So, wow, that's a heck of a charger he's got there. That thing's massive. Speed charger. Speed racer.
20 minutes or something.
Oh, I feel like that's probably, I don't know. Do they fix batteries? Is that not bad for him anymore? Yeah, so do you think we're going to go too far and rubber band back? Do you think it's going to get better, Tone, or you think we're just going to be stuck falling down the proverbial hill?
In terms of sexuality or in terms of just everything or what specific to the trans issue or?
I think maybe the two biggest ones, I think it's probably a safe assumption, although assumptions are never safe, to say the wars that are, I'll even say being propagated, but not the right word, pushed on us at this stage are race and trans issues. Because I think they're kind of maybe this sounds a bit conspiratorial, but I think a little bit of it is created and constructed in order to sow strife. But regardless if it's natural or created, do you think we're gonna not hate each other so much or have some actual normal ideas of what science actually means?
I mean, I don't hate anyone. It's just difficult to be around people that lack common sense.
Yeah. No, not obviously the way you hate anybody, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's just like this, like, I hate to use the word narrow, but I feel like it's something that just keeps on being pushed. Like it's,
well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
If someone was going to stand to benefit or wanted to make changes, what better way to do that than creating discord among your citizens?
Yeah. You think it's coming from an outside source, or do you think it's just people realized? I have a somewhat thin hypothesis of like the internet came along and people started connecting and realizing, amongst the ridiculousness that comes along with the internet. But I think a perfect example is like the whole Reddit GameStop situation we've talked about with the stock market, where a group of institutionalized investors and Wall Street and all these things were kind of upset and kind of turned on their head by the normal everyday person in a sense. And then they framed it as, well, we need to protect these normal people. In reality,
it was the normal people.
It was normal people that were fucking them up. Like, no, we need to protect ourselves and pretend like
it's the normal people we're protecting.
Right. And it's, I think part of that is the for lack of a better term, the institutions and the structure going, oh shit, we don't have as much control as we used to think. But do you think it's just going to get worse because they still have enough control to fuck up our lives?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be like a fatalist or anything, but I mean, how do you compete with the 1% that own, or the 0.1% that own the 99%? Like,
yeah,
when you have that much money, like you have that much power, you just buy newspaper companies and you just manipulate, whatever you want to say, it's going to be the truth kind of thing.
Right. Man, that sounds awfully familiar. Wasn't that contributed to, I think it was, or Hitler or one of his people or whatever? It
was Joseph Goebbels.
Yeah, Goebbels. You say something loud enough and long enough, sooner or later
truth.
It becomes truth. It seems awfully familiar.
Yeah, or you just buy the Washington Post.
And make them say it loud enough and long enough.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, man, it goes back to what I originally said. Like, short of some sort of catastrophe, like, I don't really see it getting too much better. I hope that it does. I really do. I hope that more of these conversations happen. I hope that more people have a voice, like to ask that female, like, well, why did you do this? And like sit down and have one of these conversations with her, and maybe we'd glean some information that we didn't know. Or maybe she would go, oh wow, I interpreted that a little bit wrong. Well, I'm sorry that I did that. Like, I thought this is why I did that. And then we would understand, oh, okay. You were standing up for, against slavery, and that's what you thought it was. And we didn't interpret that way. So while I don't agree with the action, like, maybe I can understand the action a little bit more.
Right.
No, I agree. And I think that I can understand it. Like I said, I think that it was just executed poorly. Like, it just, at least when you take a knee during the national anthem at a sporting event, right? Like, do I find that disrespectful? I do, because the anthem isn't played for this sport, right? It has nothing to do with that. It's a time to respect and recognize our freedoms. But on a world level, and to just completely turn your back and cover your head, I don't know, it just seems childish. But, she said that from the time she was little, her dad used to go to the library, and he spent hours reading about African American history here in, I don't know, I can't really even say African American, Black history here in the United States. And then he would come home and he would teach her. And so she had this rich knowledge and appreciation for Black history in America. And she obviously wasn't thrilled with it, right? No one can deny that it wasn't fucked. And then she has this incredible ability, to throw her hammer or whatever it is. And so she wanted to use her platform for good, which I commend her. That's fantastic. I just think that there are respectful ways to do it. Like, if you want to be respected, you have to, like, if you want to be respected, you have to also show respect. And I don't know what better way to show respect than start. Right? I don't know. I'm just talking in a circle. I just think.
No, I understand that. And it's kind of weird, as you mentioned, the kneeling thing. It's funny because, in a sense, in our society, kneeling for the national anthem is seen as somewhat disrespectful or protesting or whatnot. But, and at the same time, this is just a little side note, in a lot of societies and cultures, like, if you were to kneel in front of something, that means you're giving it even more respect. which is just a weird, interesting side note.
Jokes on you, Kaepernick.
Yeah, well, it's just a weird, but like I understand. Like to me, it's more I get the act of doing something different to say, hey, but I guess there's the anthem is a hard place for a lot of people because they're like, the anthem didn't do anything wrong to you. You know what I mean? Like that song didn't but I guess depending on how you interpret it. Okay, I get it. But the way she did it, like you said, like, cause I saw like the picture and stuff, it was like, she wasn't just being like, I guess it's hard to look at her while she's doing that and think, at least, and I never thought I'd say this, like, at least like Kaepernick was like, he knelt, he sat there, and it was, you could tell like, he's like, this is a, silent protest, this is what I'm doing. But she was just pouting like a big old fucking baby, like, and just, like throwing a tantrum. Like I respect what you're saying. Like, I get your idea, and like, I want to get behind your cause and your, like, what you, at least on the surface level, what you're trying to do. But you are not doing yourself any favors by acting like a fucking child. Like, cause that now I just automatically disrespect you. I don't respect you because you're not acting in a respectful way. Like, even when you're silently protesting, like.
So prior to that, I mean, does anyone know? I mean, had she been involved with any organizations? Had she done anything else that was, kind of that anti-slavery, like?
I think she has a little bit of history, but
I think she was listed as like an activist beforehand.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that she had, because she talked about wanting to make a difference from the time she was old enough to realize that she had a voice and it, can be used, which I applaud her for. Absolutely. And I even told you, like, nothing's going to change if you don't stand up and make a change. But there's a time and there's a place and there's a way to do it. And maybe I'm completely wrong.
Right.
But
I think that's the hard part, is because the way she was acting and like the faces she was making and stuff, it was like, you look like, because I've seen a child throw a fit. Like, you look like a child throwing a fit.
A tantrum.
Yeah, like she looked like she was throwing it like a tantrum. And it's like, now what people are going to do is they're going to see that. And they're not only going to apply it to your cause, but now you're giving those people that you hate the most more fuel for their fire.
I mean, that's like BLM.
Right. Like, and I absolutely like stand behind the idea of what BLM is supposed to be. But then when you have one of the creators of BLM saying they're trained Marxists and always, and then buying $1 million homes and all this other shit, like, you are giving fuel to the opposition's fire, and you're discrediting your cause.
Looting and killing as well.
Well, and you're saying that that's okay. That this is, this, like, no, like, especially like that was the thing that killed me with that. It was like, there was not the organization or a lot of the people, but like there were some of those people like, oh, this is, I think the one person even said like, oh, this is our reparations, like, and whatever, like so stealing and destroying businesses is okay. Well, guess what? Like, some of those businesses were Black-owned businesses.
Yeah.
Like, what the, like, no, that's not, like, regardless. Like, there's, like you said, there's ways to go about things. And that's the, like, upsetting thing is that happens. And then even when you want to stand and want to be an ally for somebody, but while that cause is directly damaging itself, it's like, what's going on here? People like, what?
I just feel like it's like, if you're going to protest against those things and you don't like those things, don't become those things. You need to hold yourself to a higher standard. Otherwise, now you guys are like staring in the eyes of what you hated and you're becoming it yourself.
Yeah. When the cancel culture starts, in the same thing of the canceling, when canceling starts canceling the canceled, the cancelers, like, what are we doing here, people? Yeah, it's perfect. Like you said, it's when you don't become the thing you hate. And that's why I think it's starting in some areas to become, and it's just sad. Well, as always, it's not what I expected.
Let's talk about Britney again.
Yeah. That's so sad.
Britney, bitch.
You just have to let go of your expectations, babe.
I know. I don't really. I know that's the thing. I never come in with expectations, but usually it's like, oh, it's not what I thought I was getting into today. Except, but that's life, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we touched on some recent-ish events, but happy 4th of July. It'll be a week after, so by the time this is out, but who knows? The whole alien thing didn't really turn out to be all that awesome.
Yeah.
The 25th, nothing really, whatever. I did see an article that the head of NASA says he believes in aliens. So that's interesting. But regardless, we do have some things lined up for the future and guests and all the fun things, and we'll just keep on rocking in the free world or something.
Yeah. Happy 4th, and go have yourself some pudding pops.
Pudding pops, he says.
Oh, jeez. No, we're not doing it. We are not doing it. I'm stopping it right now.
Oh, God.
Thank you for hanging out with us on this episode.
Appreciated as always, and if you have any questions, comments, ideas, or guest suggestions, leave them in the comments after you subscribe to the channel, or visit chroniccuriosity.com to get in contact with us.
And the store, which you can pick yourself up some fantastically curious merchandise.
Until next time, that's it.